Good evening. Today is January 23rd at 7:30 in the evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and I'm going to ask first for the opening prayer, and then we will do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Lord, we are meeting here tonight to conduct matters of business. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. Thank you for being the source of our guidance tonight. Amen.
Amen. All right. And you can go right over there and look at the flag and go ahead and say it. Yes. Well, is he going to, are we going to see him?
Come right back here so we can get you on camera.
I don't think you'll get on camera there.
Come on back.
Come on back. You can stand in
More
front of me.
important.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Now, like I said, this is televised, and if you have Charter, it's on channel 191. On Thursday, I'm not sure what time, but it starts like 8, 12, and about every 4 hours. It'll go on for 2 weeks. So if you turn your channel to 191, you're going to be able to see yourself. I'll talk a little bit louder too. I can hear the gentleman there. I mean, I can see the gentleman. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I only hear out of one ear, so that's fine.
Okay, that's all right. My husband is the same way. So, okay, there's 3 cameras here. So if you come up and you want to speak, you can give your name, but you don't have to give your address. So if you want to speak when I call for public comment, you just come up here to this microphone. Approval of tonight's agenda. Is there any requests to amend tonight's agenda? And we do need to talk louder. If there isn't, a motion is in order to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Included in your packet is your meeting minutes for January the 8th regular meeting. Are there any corrections or request revisions to the meeting minutes? None? All right. Expenditures. Are there any questions regarding any of the invoices that are in front of you?
Why weren't we surveying our lift stations?
All right, remember, that was something, I guess, John, that should have been done years and years ago and then recorded. And some people's property, especially one on Butcher Road, man wanted to sell his property. And he, property line showed the township owned it, but we never registered it. So we wanted to make sure we had the right place. And there's other ones now.
Well, it looked like there was 3 of them that were surveyed.
Do you know, Tom? Because I wasn't here.
These are the 3 that are pegged to get permanent generators.
Oh.
So they needed to make sure
Okay.
where they,
Where they put the generator. yeah.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that makes
But
sense.
Tom, we also had to have the properties where there are pump station, Butcher Road, surveyed, remember?
Well, that's one where we discovered that there was an encroachment.
That's right.
We had to buy some
Yeah.
property to take care of it.
So, but that one then is for the placement of the generator?
Yes, that's what this is for.
Okay. Are there any other questions in regards to the expenditures? All right, a motion is in order to approve the expenditures totaling $428,995.99 for payment.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
I vote yes. Mathis.
Yes.
Kessler.
Yes.
Shoemaker.
Yes.
Gopel.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, public hearings. 2017 local road improvement projects. We are conducting this public hearing this evening to obtain input from our residents regarding potential local road improvement projects for 2017. There's a review in our packet, gentlemen, that tells you more about this subject. And what we'll do is I'm going to have you come up and talk about the road that you would like to have repaired, or 2 roads, or tell the problem. But we need kind of an address in the area. We just can't say, let's say Laring Road. You know, we need to know from what point to what point. But this way, when we sit down with the road commission, we have so much money to spend, then we can work it into your projects. Am I talking loud enough, sir? Okay. All right, I am going to open it up to public comment. Whoever would like the, yes, Cheryl.
My name is Cheryl Clark. I live on Dale Hart Drive in Fenton Township. We need help with our road again. Bonnie, you remember when you and I got into it because I put straw all over my road, or in front of my house, between my house and my garage?
No, I didn't, I was trying to save you from the road commission, but yeah. But
Well,
we
it was
became
you and me,
friends on that
and then
one.
you finally convinced me to move my straw.
Yeah, yeah.
Shortly after, they came and put 3 to 4 inches in front of my house, and I'm gonna say 40 to 50 feet. 3 to 4 inches. That's what it needed. A half hour after the truck left, the gravel truck left, a grader came through and graded the whole area down a half a mile, or
And this
quarter
was
mile.
when the time about the straw?
Yeah,
Okay, that's been a while then,
it's been quite a while on that.
yeah.
I called the road commission, and they said that I had gravel there, they're not gonna put any more. They took it away. Last fall, on one of our we got several curves, but this one curve, they came and put 2 to 3 inches of gravel, I'm gonna say 60 foot long. It was nice, we drove over it, that's what our road needed. 2, 3, 4 inches. About 2 to 3 weeks later, the grader came through. Took all of that gravel down to the end of the road. We now have mud puddles in front of my house, on the curve. This is my opinion because I've watched it. If they're gonna put gravel on a certain part of the road, let's say the curve, because right now it's full of 6, 7, 8-inch potholes. If they're gonna put gravel there, keep it there and not put it down the road. I have an article from 2007. It says approximately $60,000 will be allotted towards the road projects on Island View Drive and Dale Hart Drive. Something about petitions being issued, and it says if approved, this 60,000 would go into effect for both of these roads. I've never heard anything.
Give me a date on that, do you have the article? Oh, I just need the date, and I'll tell you.
It had been in January of 2007.
2007?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have the article.
Can I have this? Oh, Tom, you got a good looking picture on you.
Some young guy there, huh?
All right, let me just talk to Cheryl a minute. Okay. 2007, each time we do a budget.
Yeah.
Every year, and that's what we have this public hearing about. We will present this, but I will talk to the road commission. I'm going to the road commission tomorrow, which is Tuesday, and we'll see. And I know your phone number, but it's going to take, for us to have a meeting, it's going to take maybe 2 weeks, really.
That's fine.
And then we're going to give you priority-wise, like if it's your road or whatever roads it is, will go priority. From the day that I started in office, I said the 2 worst roads in this township was number 1, Dalhart and Hogan. And that has still been the truth. It's terrible.
Right.
It's what she's talking about is Dalhart is a very narrow road, and there is no room for cars to even park. We try to get special funds for it. I don't know, I think you went around with a petition to have it taken care of.
Right.
But if the road wants to bring it up to standard, they can't because the road is too narrow. And when they say it has to be so wide in regards to that. But I'm gonna get another report on it to
Okay.
see. And I try, when you call, I try to get the gravel out there.
And you do.
But it's the way the road is, the curve, and it's banked. And it's trying to get all the cars out of there when they put the gravel.
Right.
And what Cheryl was talking about, and I knew it was many years ago, she had an area in front of her house, and it was nothing but holes but water. But her property for her cars across the street. So every time she would go across, she'd have to walk in thick mud. So she decided to put straw. She covered the road with straw. And the
It
road
worked.
Go ahead, Cheryl.
No, the straw worked.
Oh, with wood?
No, the straw.
It worked, yes.
Yeah, but we had a guy complain
But then the road
about it.
commission came after her because of liability and that. And but we've tried really hard, and it is a terrible road. If I could get curbs and gutters in there or whatever to help the water, the running of the water, we would do that also. But we'll look into this
Okay.
again.
You know, like I said, you know, if they put that 3 or 4 inches of gravel in one place, keep it there. That's where we need it.
Pothole
But
filling.
but the road commission scatters it down the road, and it's not doing any good.
Well, right now, there's a lot of potholes, a lot of just big holes in the gravel. But the only thing about that, there's still frost in the ground. So, you know, if we put it in there, we'll try to get something in there.
Yeah.
But if we put it in there, it doesn't work right now.
Yeah. Well, I've been
So-
waiting 37
and
years,
grading
so.
would make muck, just muck, trying to get those holes taken out. Anyway, is there anyone else? Yes, ma'am. Oh, now, then,
Well, talking about our road, also on the first part of the curve, where the road is cut out, we have a manhole cover that is like 12 inches above the ground
We got it.
on our curve, where one person has already flipped a car. And it was.
nobody's reported this at all?
This happened quite a few years ago,
Oh.
but it's liable to happen again because it was one of our teenage drivers. And the manhole is here and the road is here, so it's right there where you can catch it. Especially when our road is icy, because we have no gravel on the road. And so when like just what we just got done with, we had all ice and no gravel to catch us. So, you know, so that is one very big problem. And we also, I mean, we finally got covered with our kids going to the bus because they finally gave us an apron, which was great because our kids could never get onto the bus without getting in mud holes, and the bus driver could not get off the road enough to not avoid the holes. So we did get an apron. That was great.
No, you did. That was due to Cheryl.
Ma'am,
Cheryl calling me.
ma'am, we need your name for the records, please.
Anne Marie Young.
Anne Marie.
Thank you.
Anne Marie, that was due to Cheryl. She called me and we had,
Well, I also, when the school problem arose, I did call the township, I did call the road commission, I did call the school system because our kids could not
it
get on
was
the
bad.
bus.
Okay, Gregory D. Young at
Gregory.
12145 Dillhart. And there's a manhole cover that's buried just over the hill from my house. They've taken so much dirt off that, they need to check it because they're about ready to hit it.
And what was your address again then?
12145 Dillhart. It's not right at my address, but just over the top of the hill.
At the top of the hill.
Yeah.
One is buried and one was coming out, okay.
Yeah, it's buried and covered up, but they've taken so much dirt away. And they're about ready to hit it again.
Okay. Is there anything else, Gregory?
That's
That's it? All right, we'll be checking it. We'll definitely check it. Pardon me? Yeah.
My name is Earl Green. I live at 12084 Odell Road, just the
Odell.
third house south of
Yes,
Odell
no.
Lake. If you know where Odell Lake is.
Yeah.
My complaint is the way they grade the road. They grade that road and they leave a curb. And then they don't pull the curb off. In other words, in the spring or in the fall, they're supposed to go in, hook that and bring that and mix that all in, and they don't do it. And then I live on a hill. The road comes up like that, and then you go up into my driveway. He comes up there, he drops the blade. The one side of my driveway is 5 to 6 inches higher than the edge of the road, and he gives me this crap all the time. I've even had him come up there grading, pull over into my driveway, and hook about a foot or 18 inches of my driveway and bring it out. So,
Let me have your address though,
12084
or Odell.
Odell.
And are you the north end? Isn't your house right?
I'm right next to the flood area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We know.
the Odell Lake.
Odell Lake, yes.
Yes. Another thing is a Thompson Road, Linden Road corner. I pulled up there and stopped on a Sunday morning and had a guy come around the corner and hit me right head on. I went right over top of I had a truck, and I went right over all the way to his windshield. Yeah, I had pulled up there to make a left-hand turn, which would be going south. I looked and there was a car coming from the north. So I looked back, no cars from the south. I looked back, no car from the north. I look in my rearview mirror, he went behind me. That corner needs to be kinked around and stop them from they do that all the time.
Yeah,
I've had that happen more than once. Because I go up, I crowd the center line and then pull over to get a square look back north. And what happens is you're out there and they right through behind you. And they come, and when they're coming in from the south, they come so fast sometimes that they'll come way across that line.
Yes.
That is a
Yeah.
bad corner.
It's a bad corner. That is a bad corner.
But that deal with Odell Road, now, he come through the other day and graded all that snow and stuff off. He caught that curb, and where's he put it? Up in your yard. You know, what I'm saying is that thing, every fall, that should be cut off and brought in. That's nothing but gravel anyway. That's where all your stones go, to the outside. You dump a pile of gravel and what do you have? You have all the stones around the outside.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else that would like, yes, you gonna, okay, go ahead, Mr. Kinney.
I'm Roy Kenny, and I've got a complaint about Thompson, or Laring Road and North Road. So that you can, when you come up there, the stop sign's about 40 feet back from the edge of Laring Road. And you have to go all the way up, put your nose to your car, right on the edge of Laring Road to see if any cars are coming. Not so now that they've got one lane, but that's gonna open up again. And I think that we should, I don't know whether the state did it or city did it. At Fenton City there, where you come off the expressway there on North Road, they got a nice big yellow dotted stripe to keep the cars from going, cutting the corners. There they cut the corners almost every single time. I've been cussed out, and I've come close to hitting 5 or 6 cars. I travel that way when I want to go to Fenton.
Sure.
It's too wide there, and you just, where you stop, you have to move way up or you can't see because of the brush and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's another one that where they cut the corners is Thompson Road and Jennings Road, and even right there at the end of Laring Road and Torrey Road. I think that over here on Wiggins Road and North Milk Lake Road, they've got a white dotted line for the edge of the road so that you can see where the edge of the road is. When I pull up there so I can see, I'm right up there on Laring Road, almost to the edge, but there's no dotted line. Everybody thinks I just come around the corner there. So I really think it's a safety hazard, and I really think it should be fixed. But
All right, now I got Laring and North Road, Thompson and Jennings, Laring and Torrey, but there was one more I thought you said.
well, I think that Laring and Thompson, mine is the one I'm concerned about more than
Ripley?
anything.
Yours is Laring and Ripley?
Laring and North Road.
And North Road, okay. Oh, I didn't get that one, okay. Yes, I did. All right, I got them.
Because Laring Road, there's no line there that tells where the edge of the road is. And if they put a dotted white line across there like they did at Wiggins Road, you could tell where it is. But they need that orange so the cars go out around instead of cutting across.
Yeah. Well, see, I've never had that complaint. And
Well-
Mr. Green, I have had on the graveling of it. And then definitely you two ladies. So we do have ones that are very serious and need to be done. But
Thank you.
this is what we'll get, that's why we have this meeting. Yes, sir, would you and your son like to speak? Yes. Are you going to speak? Good for you.
It's okay.
Yes?
Stand on the chair, or would you like me to move this down?
You can bring it all the way down to him.
I would like to talk to you about the condition of my road, West Ray Road between Torrey and Thompson.
All right, now we got to have you talk louder, honey, so the gentleman can hear you. You can kind of yell, and he'll be able to hear you because it's a distance away. Good.
All right. I would like to talk to you about the condition of my road, West Ray Road between Torrey and Thompson Road. This road has been an issue ever since we moved onto the road. Every time it rains, the road turns into a muddy mess, and I have to walk through this to get to the bus every morning. And by the time I get to school, my shoes are covered in mud. And our bus ride is horrible because there are so many potholes in the road. And I'm asking you to please consider paving this road. It would make life on Ray Road much better. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Which Ray Road, where's this at?
Yeah, I can't.
West Ray Road between Torrey and Thompson.
West Ray Road.
Ray Road.
Gotcha.
R-A-Y.
Ray and Thompson are parallel, so what?
Torrey and Fenton. Torrey and Fenton
Yeah,
Road.
Torrey and Fenton.
Torrey and
Okay.
Fenton.
Great, that's
You
what.
put
West
Torrey.
Ray, Torrey and Fenton.
So thanks for listening to my son. My name's Terry Ketterer. Of course, live at the same address. My wife Michelle's here as well. We live at 2191 Ray Road, which, as my son indicated, is directly between Torrey Road and Fenton Road.
Fenton Road, yep.
Yeah. And we've lived there for close to 5 years now. And the road year-round really is terrible.
Yes.
It's either muddy in the wintertime like it is now. Every time it rains, just like the madam had said earlier with the condition of her road, we can't seem to keep enough gravel on it ever. It just turns to just a soupy mess. I think part of the issue is due to the drainage in the area. The house directly across from us has a driveway which about 11 months out of the year is completely
I
underwater.
know exactly where you're talking.
We live directly across from that house.
Okay, then you have a bad area.
Yeah, it's bad. The little girl who lives in that particular house, I feel terrible for her because she actually has a pair of chest waders that she dons to walk to the bus stop in the morning. She leaves her chest waders stashed in the woods, and when she gets off the school bus, she puts the waders back on so that she can walk through her driveway to get to her house.
And that house is Mundy Township.
Yes,
Fenton
but we're on the
Township.
other side of the
You're on
road,
our
which is
township.
still Fenton Township.
I know
That's
exactly
correct.
what you're saying
Yeah.
on that one.
Yeah, we live at 2191. We're back off the road a ways. In the last year, we've had to replace shocks in our car twice. We've got some pictures here. Son, would you mind? Is it okay if he shows you some pictures?
Sure.
You can take those pictures up. That's the front of our house. You'll see in the pictures that there's hubcaps that fly off the cars that drive down the road and they end up in our ditch.
I mean, that's,
That's the condition of the road today, but that's fairly representative of the condition pretty much year-round.
yes, you're right.
You know, summertime, the issue is dust. Wintertime, it's, you know, if the road's frozen, it's not so bad.
This is the house across from us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know exactly where. See, that's Mundy Township. Mundy Township and Fenton Township will get together, and when we're going to ditch, we will share the costs. When we're going to do graveling, we share the costs.
Yes.
So, but I know the one house where that little girl is, and that here, hon,
Trenton.
that, oh, I'm sorry. And I'll give it, and then we'll pass them the other way.
Yeah. We took that picture on the way here tonight.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we actually have had neighbors 2 doors down who have put their house up for sale, and they're actually moving and building a home a half a mile to the west just because they want to get off the dirt road. They want to get off Ray Road. It's that bad.
Yeah.
The Husteds are currently building a home right here on, it would be Torrey. Yep. And the only reason they're doing that is because of the condition of Ray Road. We've considered doing the same. We love living where we live. We'd hate to leave, but if something isn't done to improve the condition of the road, we may consider putting our house up for sale, which we'd hate to do. By our count, we've got 64 houses on our road. And I got that just from pulling up Google Earth and just counting the houses that you could see from the satellite. It's probably pretty close. May have missed 1 or 2. But 64 houses in a 1.5 mile road is 20 more houses than what Baldwin Road has in the same stretch between, and I understand Baldwin Road isn't Fenton Township, but by comparison of, you know, you've got a lot of traffic going down Ray Road by virtue
You
of
have a
having
lot of
64
traffic,
in between the school bus, the garbage truck, the mail carriers, as well as the residents. It's almost impossible to keep that road in good condition as a gravel road. And I know it's very expensive to pave roads. I understand that. But if there's ever a road that needed to be paved, in my opinion, I'd love to see it.
I don't know if we would ever be able to pave it because of the cost and sharing, but we're going to pay more attention to it to make it a drivable road in better condition. And gentlemen, where they're talking, there is like a wetland swamp with all dead trees and everything, and it comes right over the road. I mean, it's, well, Mark would know because Mark was the sheriff deputy and sergeant, and he would travel that road for protecting the township.
Yeah.
But it is, that's the only thing,
Yeah.
is we have to get with Mundy.
Yeah.
And we share expenses.
We live, the woods in that wetland swamp, the tree area, we own that property to the south of the road. That's exactly where we live.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes.
Can I ask you just one question?
Yes.
And I understand there's a logistics issue with Mundy Township, but you would qualify for a special assessment. It seems like where you live and the value of the homes, that looking at what it costs to pave a road 2 inches at what, 100 and could they possibly with 51% because there's 2 different?
Well, there's a couple things to consider. Number one, it's a local road, so typically special assessments are done on residential streets rather than local roads. Doesn't mean we can't do one, but we've never done one on a local road. But the cost of paving an unpaved road is about $715,000 a mile, which is way beyond
it's just,
our budget. And this is all over 1.5 mile stretch that we're looking at here.
Can I ask you a question? There's a stretch of Thompson Road just as you cross over Fenton Road headed towards Camp Colton-Neconic. There's about a 1/4 mile stretch there that's paved, and as far as I can tell, nobody lives there. So does anybody understand who spent the dollars to pave that?
You're talking
if you-
Thompson Road going over to crossing Fenton Road?
Yeah, Thompson Road headed east
Yeah.
as you pass Fenton Road.
Yeah.
There's about a 1/4 mile stretch there where it's paved
It's gotta be,
for no good reason I can tell.
yeah, I don't know, but I know the dam is there,
Yeah.
Well, I
at the
think,
gravel.
Bonnie,
This is before
from that's been paved
For
for years,
years.
but I think that's where the county line stops.
The pavement stops at the county line.
I'm thinking that's why Genesee County paved that road to the end there, because that
That makes sense.
Oakland County starts about a quarter mile east of
Right.
Fenton Road.
It's just for that quarter-mile stretch, there's a total of one house.
Yeah.
I know
And we've
about
got
the
64 in our stretch, and we can't, I don't understand. But I just didn't know if anyone knew the history.
Tom, I would be interested, you had some logistics issue with respect to a special assessment, I think you started to talk about.
Well, it's just, we've never done a special assessment on a local road. I believe I have an old legal opinion from Dick Cooley that says we can, but we've never taken that approach with a
What
local
would you have
road.
to do with it? Because I'm just looking at Google Earth too. It looks like more than half of them are on the Mundy Township side. How would you do a cross-boundary special assessment district, or can you?
Both boards would have to do their own district. So it'd have to be a collaborative effort, kind of all or nothing probably. If they created one on their side, we create one on our side, and
So
share
half
the
the
cost.
cost would get split to whoever's on this side of the road, the other half's on that side of the road? Or
But
could
then
you
it would-
create a district where the costs are split evenly amongst all the parties on either side of the road, even though that would
Has
end
to
up
be.
with more of the burden in Mundy Township than on, could you do that, or can you not even do that?
if both sides agree, we could probably do it. It's,
Well, these folks, you know, they're gonna get their waders on and probably start doing petitions. I'm just trying to think of what it ought to say.
in my-
Track's ready to roll.
Excuse me,
I
so
would be-
can I ask, you indicated you believe that there's more houses on the Mundy Township side?
I'm just looking at it.
I counted them up. There's 40 on our side,
Yeah.
and there's 25 on their side.
Oh, okay.
So that we actually have quite a few more on the south
They
side,
might
which
go
is
along with it
Fenton.
then, you know.
Have you ever thought about taking up a petition and seeing if you could get, but again, it would take two special districts, so they would have to have their side do a petition.
well, we'd probably have to get some legal advice and then sit down with Mundy Township to find out, you
If
know,
they're
how to
willing to
make
do
something
it.
like this work. It sounds like it's workable, but I can't sit here today and say, yeah, we can do this.
I'll be
Something
honest.
to think about for, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know how much value it would add to your house, but if you did if it was a mile and a half and it's 700,000, so you're talking about $1 million divided amongst 60 houses, so you have to do the math yourself. But-
Yeah. I have no idea what everyone else pays in taxes. I know what we pay. If you figure there's 64 houses on the road and 40 of them are Fenton Township, I'll just use around $3,000 a year, maybe more, maybe less. But 40 houses at $3,000 a year, it's about 120,000. So I understand it doesn't necessarily come close to paying for the cost of the paving, but if we could chip in and do something together. This is actually the first step we've taken toward doing anything, is just being here, so,
Yes, yeah, it is.
okay. Thank you for listening.
Oh,
Appreciate
you're
it.
welcome. Thank
I have a
you.
question.
Yes.
I was raised up in the Millington, if you're familiar with the area.
What teacher is your teacher?
I was on to a class reunion up there a couple of years ago. And all those roads up there that were gravel, that farmland with all the combines running around and stuff, are blacked out. Old Murphy Lake Road, Oak Road that runs parallel to N15 all up through there, they're all blacked out now.
Actually, what it is, that was gravel and tar. I'm an old Murphy Lake
Oh,
road
it's
boy.
nice.
Well, it compacts. I mean, if you do it over years and you put
When
layers,
on Odell Road, we'll take
you
it.
put layers
Yeah.
on it, it actually looks, I understand why you're confused. It looks like blacktop
Yeah, it's,
to the naked eye when you do it.
the roads
That's
aren't,
what they did.
the
Yeah.
roads aren't exceptionally wide, not like we have
Yeah.
here, but they sure are nice and firm.
Is that an option to just start with the tar and gravel?
I've never heard of that being an option. We can certainly ask the question.
I was there when they did it, so.
Okay.
Well, they
I'll ask Tire and
they
Gravel.
did
but
it this
I know
summer in
it's-
Edenville. And
'Cause that might make it more affordable, because we're talking about $1 million, which is 15 grand a head. I mean, that's a lot of coinage. So, you know.
Oh, it
if
would
you
be
can
at least
do
that.
if you can do tar and gravel, and even if you repeat it over 2 or 3 years to get a decent sized base, and what you have to be careful of is that's pretty easily chewed up by the plows. Now at Millington, they don't plow a lot, so
No, I know.
that might be one of the issues, but worth thinking about.
You want me to
Don't
keep
you
them?
think the base has got a lot to do
Okay,
with these
thank you.
roads?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Not a
like,
proper base.
Dalhart didn't have a base.
Look how nice Jennings Road got after they redone it.
Yeah.
And took that all out and put a good base in there.
You're right. It's
And
got to
why
start.
couldn't we do the same thing with a gravel road?
They-
Put a
they-
good base in there, that gravel road, or limestone, maybe it'd last.
What we got to do now, though, is we'll write these down. We'll turn it into the road commission to see what they can do. They give us excuse me, I'm losing my voice. They give us a price, a cost. They'll tell us exactly if a road needs to be chipped and sealed or taken all the way down and graveled the way it's supposed to be. It's a lot of wear and tear on these roads, and these potholes are terrible, just absolute. And then also it's your chloride. You know, it's grading in the spring, grading the road, making sure you get the chloride on it the very next day, and hope it rains. And so that's a hard thing too. But these are important roads right here that all of you have given us.
Well, I got several classic or antique cars, and I hate, it rains, I can't go to a show.
No.
That road is absolutely stupid.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, you're right. Yesterday, we had a contractor come to the house, and he was gonna install some doors inside of our house. And he said, I'm not gonna do the work for you with this road. Yeah, I won't drive, he had a Ford truck, he said, I'm not dealing with this road.
No.
So we gotta find a different contractor to work on our doors inside of our house because of the road.
Isn't that terrible? All right, these will be brought up, yes.
Does everybody understand where I'm talking about there at Laring?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
well-
I really think that we should start, do something with it. you
See,
know.
when we go and we talk to the road commission, we talk to different groups in the road commission. Now, you're talking on the marking of the roads, so that's a whole different thing. So we'll go to that group, or I'll go to that group. And then if it's graveling or limestone or whatever that they do, they'll give us cost, and then we'll sit down and figure out which is a priority on roads to do. But with your road, we've got to get with Mundy Township. Because if we did half the road down the middle line, we got to get them to go along with us. And he's at that meeting. He'll be at that meeting tomorrow. But that doesn't mean they'll give me any answers. We've got to write it and send it to them. Yeah.
Neighbors across
So-
the street to Monday.
Yeah. Is there any more board discussion in regards to these roads? Well, they've definitely got complaints, and they're good ones on all these roads. So we'll start out on them.
We
And
know
now,
they're good ones.
pardon me?
That's why, we know they're good ones. That's what we wanna fix.
Oh, yeah, no, but I mean, you really do have complaints. You know, some people, just a bumpy road or dust. Now, you have dust too. I do know that. And, but we have a priority list that we made up. We had to have a 3-year road plan and give it to the county. And it would be 17, 18, 19. We did. But now we also on that list, if yours is worse than the first one that's on that list, because we've never known about these, then that's how we put you in. So it's, we'll go look at them, get the road commission out there, everything, yes. Is there any other questions from the public?
Yeah, on our road, I advise not to come down our road.
No.
No.
I wanted to visit you, but no.
I'd like each and every one of you to drive down ours on the way.
I
home
know,
today.
I know it. You actually hit
So
the,
generous you are.
but the spot that he's talking about from that family,
Yeah.
I just can't even imagine how that driveway is.
Can't imagine a kid has to wear a hip if she gets across.
It's a girl too, you know, a high school girl that has to.
And we only heard from them maybe 2 years ago.
They're pretty quiet.
Oh, but they wouldn't come to us, that's right, that's Mundy Township.
They park at the end of their,
There's a bigger issue that needs to, it's about the drainage. The water, this is the lowest spot.
Now, we do
in the
ditch
area.
it though,
But
and ditching
the
is
water
coming
doesn't
up.
go anywhere. There's something wrong
It's
with
something
the
to do
ditches.
with the farm from Mundy Township, the farmer behind these people, the drainage fields from
All
the,
that water just piles up in my ditch and it's stagnant year round. It never moves. It's
No.
mosquitoes and everything else. And the same thing with his driveway. It's all underwater year round. Water
Year round.
drains.
Which makes all the trees fall in the road.
they're all dead.
I mean,
Yeah.
we have some huge trees that have power lines.
Well, every time the wind blows, a tree falls down.
Mhm.
It's a
Well, no,
mess.
that's not, he's being.
No, that's true. That is true.
Yeah,
There's
it's-
no
it's
ground,
going to
it's all
mess.
water. Is there any other questions, gentlemen? Nothing? Well, I appreciate you coming and telling us these concerns. We don't know these concerns until you come. And the only one that I really know well is on Odell Road in Delhart. And Delhart, sad to say, that's a hard one to ever get fixed, you know. Yeah. So we'll just try. I mean, we're gonna try really hard.
I do thank all of you for taking us into
Yep.
consideration.
Thank you.
All right. I will continue then with the meeting. And Tom, when do we have another meeting or let the people know about what we're gonna be doing?
Once we decide, we get some prices from the county, we can bring projects back for the board to approve. It usually takes at least a month, if not 2 months, to
Yeah.
get numbers back from the
Road
county.
Commission to give pricing on fixing a road, it takes a while because it's the engineers that have to do it. So we'll really try hard and get it done as soon as we can. Well, poor Mr. Lorraine, Wiggins Road, which was a nightmare, and here he's on the board. He asked for it 5 years ago, plus many other residents on Wiggins Road, and it just finally got done. I mean, it's like, we only have so much money, Road Commission only has so much. The governor needs to give us more money. Our roads are in bad shape.
I think we just raised the gas tax for that, didn't we?
Yeah, so maybe we will get more money.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, we did the expenditures, public comment. The next thing is, yes, is the code enforcement officer. It is his quarterly report. And this, he tells us the different things that are going on in the township. And he says during the last quarter of 2016, the Ordinance Enforcement Department documented 34 incidents that was reported as potential ordinance violations. Of these incidents, 32 complaints have been brought to a successful conclusion and closed out. 2 matters remain open and under further investigation. Zoning issues is one of the matters. Junk vehicles, dog control issues were the top complaint category for this quarter. Then he gives me, he gave an appearance ticket was issued to 2 separate incidents this quarter. An appearance ticket was issued to a resident, I'm not going to say the address, for a violent, vicious dog for our vicious animal control. The defendant's dog that has twice attacked the other neighborhood dogs caused life-threatening injuries and costly veterinarian bills. Efforts to resolve the matter, we had to eventually ticket them, and it's going into the court system. But this one is a little bit difficult because the dog was on his own property. And people didn't tie their little dog up, and this dog is a more vicious dog, but the person had their dog on their property. And I saw pictures of it. It was unbelievable what he did to those 2 dogs. So now it's going to go in the hands of the court. We can't really do any more, and we'll give them all the documents. The other one was on, in regards to a sightline ordinance and for violating the conditions of a variance that was granted in 2008. This, when it says sightline, if you don't live on a lake, it's hard to understand. If we have a house here and we have a house here, you draw a line from the foundation of the house. And if it was this way, you would draw a line from point to point. Well, that's sight line. That means you can't build past this house, because people are supposed to be able to view the lake. This man, everything was fine. Then he decided to plant evergreens, arborvitaes or whatever they are, along next to a gazebo by his swimming pool, which was fine. It was 48 inches. I mean, they grew to 48, and that was what the ordinance is. But he hasn't trimmed them, and now they're enormous, and he won't trim them. And the neighbor can't see the whole side. He can't see down the lake. Now, you're not supposed to see this way completely, but you pay to be on that lake. You're supposed to have a view. And so we went, we talked to him. He had a man come and cut him down 6 inches. Well, that's not what the zoning board had said to do. And so now he's going to have to go to court. We don't want to take anybody to court, but honest to God, if they don't comply to it, you have to do it. And we're very good about trying to solve the problems. So he was saying some of his other problems were violations. Tall grass, we have a measuring stick, put it in the ground, take a picture, we measure it, I'm not sure how high. Blight, we have blight. Building codes, people decide to do something without getting a building code, we catch them. Dangerous building was nothing. Dog control, there was 4 of them. Junk vehicles are 4. If a car has a license on it dated current, that's not a junk vehicle. You know, that means they can drive it. Okay. Storm sewer, you're getting that from some people. Their water is running on to your neighbor's property. Sight lines, there was 2. Soil erosion, got to get that salt fence up on soil erosion. That was 2. Zoning was 6, and miscellaneous 4. So all total, he had 421 issues with violations. And that's the last quarter. All right. Is there any discussion, gentlemen, in regards to that on anything? Okay. Are there any committee reports to be made? None? Communications, none. Adoption of ordinances, none. Unfinished business, none. All right, this is new business. This is resolution number 2017-01, authorizing the issue capital improvement bonds. We were going to vote on this last time, but I was out of state. And there was, I think, minus 3 other people or something. And so when we have to vote on a project, I like to have all 7 possible. So they couldn't vote on it. Tom, would you like to explain, Operation Manager, Broker, would you like to explain this?
Yes, before you is a resolution authorizing the issuance of the, actually they have a mistake on that cover letter. It's not special assessment bonds, they're capital improvement bonds. The resolution is correct, I believe.
Capital improvement bonds.
Yes. Back in November, I think it was, the board adopted a resolution declaring their intent to issue the bonds, and then we had to wait a 45-day referendum period. Now this is the resolution that confirms the amount at 1.7 million and authorizes the bonds to be issued for the pump station upgrade project.
This is your sewer projects. Our sewer system is huge in this township. It's 100 miles in sewer system. We have 57 pump stations. So these bonds are important, and it'll help get this going as far as getting the problems. Like when I came back, I thought with this rain and snow, we'd have all kinds of sewer problems, but right now not. But just like you in that water area, it's not. Do you have sewer out there? Septic. No, you're septic, yeah. Septic. Okay. So any board discussion in regards to this? All right. Resolution number 2017-01. Deputy Clerk Broker, will you please Why not the clerk?
I probably left that in from last time, forgot to fix it.
Okay. He would like you
see the
to.
size of that thing?
Yeah.
They breathe.
All right. Clerk Krug, would you like to present the resolution?
You don't want me to read this, do you?
No, we can,
I
what he's
will
talking
move the
about.
resolution 2017-01 as presented.
All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Shoemaker,
No.
Gopal,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
I vote yes. Mathis,
Yes.
resolution passes.
Okay. Are there any other comments from the members of the board?
Yes.
Okay.
I had a question, and it involved the reverted property we had in Fenton Orchards, the condo
Oh, okay.
lots.
Yeah, what he's talking about, we got property back, the township in Fenton Orchard.
Okay, did we ever come to a consensus on that, what we were gonna do
With the property?
with the property? We had an offer,
Yeah.
and we decided not to go.
We decided
Well,
not to, he really didn't have the money. He really, no.
Well, there was, actually, we had an approved purchase agreement about 2 years ago. And
Oh,
the board approved it, and then the purchasers never followed through.
I know what you're talking about.
Another guy, there was another person who came and made, it was kind of a pay-as-you-go offer, which I don't think we even brought that to the board. It wasn't really a viable offer. But to answer your question, Sean, I think the board's position is we're willing to sell them.
Willing to sell.
Okay, here's my next question. How long do we let someone go? Let's say we put, let's just give an example. We put these properties in the paper or whatever we're going to do with them, or on the website, and somebody says, okay, we're going to give you X amount of dollars. How long do we give them to give us the money? To come up with the money. Once the sealed bids are opened, they're the
My
winner.
understanding, they need to pay it off.
Well, generally, I believe when we've done the sealed bids in the past, there's a certain number of days from the time we open the bids that they have to
Yeah, there was
close.
a document I actually prepared back when we had a bunch of them. I want to say it was 30 days to close.
That sounds about right.
Okay, so here's my next question. How do we let this piece of property sit there for 2 years then? Without knowing about it? We had the bid 2 years ago on the original piece of property. Gentleman won the bid, didn't pay us, so now we're 2 years down the road. How do we get to that portion?
That one was not a bid.
So,
That was, they
Private offer.
made an offer which the board accepted. I believe it was $5,000 per unit. And they never followed up after that. I remember exchanging emails, said, yeah, we're gonna be there soon, and after that, they stopped answering.
but would everyone agree with me on the board, 2 years is a long time to let somebody hang out there? With the
But
with that?
I mean,
Well, it's
what
not-
you're saying is we're not advertising. We're
No,
not
no, no,
pushing
no,
it.
no,
No, not that?
No, I'm asking this question here, is 2 years ago, let's say we came to an agreement, they say they're gonna pay us so much, whatever. There's gotta be an expiration date on that contract, I would have to imagine. Was the agreement for 2 years, that they had 2 years to pay it off? So how then did we allow this to sit out there for 2 years then?
never
It's not
had.
sitting, it's expired.
No, on the property, when we could have put it back on the market and sold it.
Well,
We never really got a full, our offer, that gentleman wanted to give us, I'm just gonna put a number, 5,000, well, not 5,000, but a certain amount down and then pay for so many months in that. No, my thought, Tom and John, was when we accepted it, they had to pay and get the deed into their
Right,
name.
right.
So it wasn't like a
The deed
2-year,
closed.
Yes.
yeah,
That's why I'm at, but,
Yeah.
okay.
well, no,
How
I'm,
long does the board think it's acceptable for us to keep owning these pieces of property?
well, that depends on the market.
yeah.
Okay, well, the last 2 years have been pretty good.
But if we get
Fenton
an
Orchards
offer,
is- If you go over there, is on, looks like to me, on fire as far as new builds.
he came in, most of them came in and bought quite a few of them.
So, I'm just wondering how,
Well, they're for sale. You know, you're suggesting we need a
Well,
formal marketing plan?
no.
And that's what I
no,
thought
no.
he said.
my question is this. when did we know the deal went south that we had them sold before? Did we know?
Well,
Oh, you're talking, I know what he's talking about
I did
now.
not know, but.
The first
Yeah.
offer, and it was a father and son. Yeah.
Okay, how long ago was that?
You really want me to tell you? I don't remember.
2 years
I mean,
ago.
seriously,
Okay.
I don't remember, but I do remember that issue.
So it's 2 years ago. Shouldn't we brought this to the board's attention that other than last fall, that the deal fell through in an effort to decide whether we want to sell these properties or what we want to do with these properties? I'm under the opinion we should not be in the business of owning properties
No,
as a township. And we have become a collector of properties. And I'm sorry, if we knew this fell apart 2 years ago, I think it should be brought to us at the board level to make a decision what we should do.
Okay, I don't have
I
a
don't
problem
think
with
it's fair
that.
to our residents that these properties are hanging on out there. And I'm just wondering, trying to get my questions answered on where we are and what
The only
what
thing
happened.
about the properties that you're talking about right now, and I hate to say it, but it's the truth, they're not desirable. There are, I mean, if you go or look in our plans, you know, you'll see that a lot of them have wetlands by it. Now, we're talking the properties that are the condominium properties, right? Yeah,
I'm not just talking, no, I'm talking, we have quite a few properties out there from,
quite a few of them sold to about 3 developers lately.
but I just want us to get a direction as a,
You
I'd
want
like
us
to know the direction where we plan on heading as a board, and I'd like to, like I said, I just don't like the idea that 2 years ago this deal went south and it wasn't brought to the board's attention. Because even
Okay,
at $5,000 per unit, that's a nice chunk of money. And you got people complaining about roads, and we're holding property. So.
But if you, I see what you're saying, but I don't see where we're holding it. We don't have people making an offer. Tom, when did the last man make the offer?
Where-
September.
Probably 4 or 5 months ago, 6
No.
months ago maybe.
That's the last person, and he just didn't want to pay what it was even worth. So,
Where are we advertising these properties? Are they on the website? Do we know?
They're
I
not
don't-
advertised.
no. But Sean,
I got no problem with putting a thing on the website.
I
that
don't
these
either.
properties listed are for sale for this price. I personally don't have a problem holding on to property. If we're not gonna get what the value of the property is, why get rid of it?
Amanda, am I under the
we're
impression that we have to pay
receiving these.
taxes on these properties?
But we also can't make any money off of sales of tax reverted properties, so regardless of what we sell
Well,
it for.
but these
we get our
were,
costs paid.
right, but these weren't purchased through tax reversion.
These were reverted back from
defaulted
Defaulted
back to us for nothing.
These are not, I thought we were talking about tax reverted properties.
Well, they are tax reverted,
They're, I mean, one's the county, but they come from the county.
right.
yeah,
But to my understanding that there is no limitation on what we can make on those. If we buy it for back taxes, then we can't make any money on it, because we do have one property like that. But also, it's my understanding that those that go back in that manner we don't have to pay taxes on them either.
That's what I have always understood also. It doesn't cost us anything to have it.
It's true, you don't cost you anything, you're not making any, I mean, no one's paying those taxes.
no, that's true.
But
off
if
the
nobody's
roll.
offering,
No,
you know,
The one thing you're saying though, we can put it on a website. We're gonna be getting some more back,
I have
too.
no problem with that, but I
And
don't
and that's
think
probably
we should
the
dump
only way-
anything we get just to not have it. I mean, kinda opposite of what he's
No,
saying.
you want, yeah.
Well, just so we're clear, we got a bunch of properties back. We've probably sold over 90%. I haven't done the math. You know,
And
we
the
did it with
ones
some
we
extensive
are
advertising.
hoping to
We did
have
the opening
some
bids.
potential.
Yeah.
We've actually done really well with those things. We made like 300,000. We have the place on Silver Lake Road where the maintenance building,
DPW is.
DPW building is located. We got that was free land. We got park property that we're trying to develop into a park that we got for nothing. So I mean, this has been a wildly successful from a financial standpoint. And I'm getting the sense, Sean might like it more formalized in the sense of disposing of them more expeditiously, because the bulk of those were sold all at once. When we did the opening bids, and we also got them that way too. So I just want to make sure we get a fair, balanced picture here. We don't
did
just
it.
acquire and hold. We've probably gotten rid of I'm gonna say 90%, without doing math.
We did have a meeting. What's the subdivision off of Ralston Road that's right before your house?
Lakeside Acres?
Yeah, and we had a big public hearing and people came in and bought quite a few of them. Called you and,
Well, that's
Was
the
it-
same ones John's talking about.
Yeah, we had Lakeside, we had
Yeah.
them over
Liberty
across,
Shores.
Tupper and
Audubon
Liberty
Meadows.
Shores.
We had them behind Crystal, we had acreage back behind there, between the nature preserve
Crystal
and
Cove.
Crystal. We were gonna give that away, and we ended up making, I think, 60 on it, 40, 60, somewhere in that neighborhood.
but we can change and make a policy. Put it on the website.
No,
I think that's a good idea.
It's my like I said, what got me thinking about this was this piece of property. It hit my brain again. I was back in Fenton Orchards, and I was driving around, and I thought, whatever happened to that piece of property? And then I started thinking, I was told it's 2 years ago that the original offer was in on it. And what started to irritate me is the fact is one, we just heard about it 2 years later. Because if it would have been our choice to liquidate the property, whether the board agrees to it or whether we didn't, we should have at least been able to decide what we wanted to do. And that's what got me thinking on that. And then I started thinking, you know, my grandfather used to tell me you can't catch fish unless you put a hook in the water, you know. So
That's true.
How are we going to sell these? Did you guys know we have property for sale? Does people know? You don't. And you know, I guess, so it led to a bigger picture and a bigger question for me is the fact is, how do we know we can't get top dollar because we're not asking? So,
Yeah, there's no problem with your asking.
Tom, are we able to bid out someone to handle the township property? A real estate professional that could tell us what what they thought the value of the property was and actively pursue all properties that the township
Our
has?
assessor does a lot of that for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if we were restricted and if we could.
Standard real estate's what, 6%?
Yeah, and we're not gonna.
So, I mean, we're getting them for nothing.
Yeah.
So even if we would have to, if somebody wanted to take the mantle and.
I do agree with Sean, though, we should have a plan.
I got no problem with that at all.
I think
I
we
don't
should have
either.
some plan.
I mean, we could say every 3 months or something on the website will be a current list of what is available in the
Well, I mean,
township.
he's absolutely right. I mean, if nobody knows it's for sale, how are we gonna, see if we can get what we want for it?
Well,
Sure.
I just asked Mr. Broker, if the board wants, he can get him and the assessor to make up a list of currently owned property that potentially could be sold
That we're willing
in the
to part
township.
with. Sure.
Well, then we can look at it and say yes or no.
Yes. Yeah. We'll do it, Sean.
Okay.
But now, how are we gonna go about it? Are we gonna ask James or Tom or
Well,
how do you wanna go about it? It needs to be on the
well,
website.
we can,
Well, we can get the list
let's
together
get the
first.
Get the
list
list
and look
together.
at it and then,
Put together a business
because
plan.
I really don't believe there's
We can all handle it.
hundreds of them.
I don't
There's
think, I don't think there, don't get me wrong, so everyone
But-
understands me, I don't think there's a
But
ton.
it's-
But this got stuck in my craw because I'm thinking, 2 years, and no one knew. So I'm thinking, how did something like that, if it was my business, and somebody told me something had fallen through the cracks for 2 years, I'd have to check our accounting procedures and say, how did this happen? So, and it got me thinking on a bigger picture that we should be advertising these things, then we can keep track of them, and so we don't get what we want, but they're on there, and then someday somebody might come across it and go, you know what? I could add that to my piece of property, it would be nice, I'd have, I could have a side lot, and they would know.
Okay,
lot of
now,
people buy
Sean,
second-rate.
Sean, when I see the pieces of property, some of them, and I think that it's a landlocked piece of property that we got back, I'll have Tom or one of the girls call the person that's butting up to that because that property is dead to anybody else, and they buy it. They buy it. So when I see things like that, yes, I'll call the resident and see if they would be interested. And 99% of them want it, but didn't know. But I think it's a good idea. I think
How long
it's.
would it take us to get a list?
But on that flip side, or not on the flip side, but with what you say, I want full disclosure for me, and I think everybody here knows that. Anytime government property comes back to us for a chance to us to grab it for nothing, I'll vote yes 100% of the time.
Oh, absolutely. We got the little store back
Yep,
that is
over
on
Fenton
Windsor
And
and
when
Fenton
that's
Road.
torn down, you think that's
And
not
we're
gonna
tearing
get some
that
money?
down, and that'll go up for sale.
Yeah.
That definitely will go up for sale.
Tom said he could have the list tomorrow or the next day. We can look at it again next meeting, or,
No, it's however
I
you
mean,
want
it
to
gives
proceed.
us-
Like I said, I don't want to demand this, but I think, I want to know how the board wants to proceed with these things, because I think we should have policies and procedures in place
Sure.
that this just becomes a staple of how we handle them. And
You know,
don't get
we
me wrong, I
probably-
think we had a period of time where we received so many properties back compared to what we normally are used to during the collapse, that it probably at that point should have been thought about, but now that we're here, let's fix it so we don't have this issue.
Absolutely. Well, that's how things are changed, and it needs to be.
I'm glad you brought
All
it up.
right.
I didn't know that.
Is there any other board discussion? All right, I will open up for public comment on agenda and non-agenda items. None? All right, I'm going to say the meeting is adjourned, and we are at, you got the time, Tom?
Yep.
And I'm going to take a 5-minute break, and we're going to go into executive session, and we'll have it in the room upstairs.